Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Sawyer. Lovely enthusiasm.
Welcome to this week's Mr. West Business Forum. As I was introduced a minute ago, I'm David Sawyer. It's my job to get you through the meeting, following the agenda, and assisted by the team. They asked that team to be upstairs. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, I'm Brian, Social Secretary.
Morning, Ben, education later.
Good morning, I'm Scott, Economic Secretary and handsome face of life.
Hello. Jealousy. Hello. I'm Terry. You know what I do?
Membership committee, and I'm also run the handsome face of the bell.
The better.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Please be seated. We are 20 today, so we're maintaining a level of attendance. So, the first thing we come up with is a performance lead, and I'll hand over to Scott for that.
Thank you. So we have 3 weeks booked up on the performance league so far, and the last in for this month today. And there's a good handful of members who have topped that benchmark that we will try to achieve each month. Low, 3, 4, 10 or so. But positions at the top. 123 points for Squire in third place. It's as if there's some kind of bit of internet business going on. Because in second place is Tina with 171. And then right up there, 227 points is the other one, Terry. So, we're ready for it. So we are. Should I? It's not equal.
Okay. Great. Okay, once that goes round, we'll have the education slots. Thank you very much. Well, it's a really good treat because straight off the hot off the plane from Dubai we have Toby.
Hey!
Great.
Okay, so, hello everybody, it's good to be back. It's the dark and cold, lovely. So what I'd like to talk about today is, no, need those on, strategic partnerships and strategic alliances. I'm a big believer and a big advocate of forming strong relationships with strategic partners. In fact, I think it's so important that I refer to these relationships as your primary customers, and that's really put an emphasis on that importance. So your strategic partners and referrals are your primary customers, and your direct clients, the ones that pay you, are the end users. They are your secondary clients. It's about having a primary focus on forming those strong relationships with these people. So strategic partners are those businesses and individuals who will let you into their world, and you let them into their world. You let them into your world to cross-refer, to collaborate, and effectively to share clients and customers. These will generally be people that are selling into or providing services into the same sector, same types of business, obviously different products and different services. So obviously this needs an element of trust, but the advantages can be huge. Access to new customers, opportunities to reach new markets, added value for existing and previous customers, greater brand awareness, and an improved brand trust. If you're working with somebody who's trusted and you get your name alongside theirs, that's great. So to my mind, I'd rather spend some time and a few coffees building a relationship with someone who can feed me 5, 10, 20 good qualified leads a year rather than spend the time and money going out and finding them myself. It's all about leveraging your strategic partners' time and their resources, basically. So, for example, with motivational mapping, I liaise and collaborate with HR consultants, recruitment consultants, business coaches, payroll companies, employee benefits companies to help them provide more value to their clients and to gain referrals and clients for myself. So it's benefit to them, benefit to myself. Accountants can get into bed with bank managers, business coaches, commercial finance people, if there's someone you want to be in bed with, which I'm sure you do. Social media experts can form alliances with IT companies, marketing companies, web developers. We've got some great examples of an EBF of strategic partnerships. Obviously, there's one that's going on here a little bit. I think Terry and Tina, Aidan, that was evident this morning. But we've got Matt, Scott, and Paul, for example, work together a lot. So have a look around the room and think about who you can collaborate with. Have a think about your strategic partners, who they could be. Think of them as your primary customers, and spend some time and energy developing those relationships. And developing the trust. Because the more trust there is, the more they'll open up their world to you, and the more you can open up your world to them.
Thank you very much, Toby. And for using the term leverage. Well done. Good work. Right, let's move on from there. Membership matters. Terry, have you got anything?
I have.
We'd love to.
Two or three things to discuss. So one is a couple of members who are not going to be rejoining or leaving, whichever way you want to put it. Alison, that you saw the email from Alison. She's after the death of her father, she's rejigged her business. She's now working in London, and she's not attending, and therefore she is not going to be coming back. And young Kieran is too busy for EBF. He's got other things that he needs to be doing. On a positive note, I've got a membership application to deal with. So, no, but those two empty seats are empty. They're still warm. While they're warm, let's get them out there looking for them. Let's get them filled. It's a good time to kick, it's the forefront of my mind. We're always looking for guests anyway, but now's a really good time when you've got a seat vacant. It's a good time to look. An architect seat should be one, I would imagine. For those who've got connection in that industry, Nick and the trades. Quite sure about Alison. Maybe your friend and counsellor.
I asked her last night. She said no. Unfortunately, I tried.
Thank you very much, Terry. Right. Let me get these going round. Looking at the plastic box. Fill it up. Business cards. You know what we're supposed to be doing with those, checking that you are adequately represented, and also taking cards to enable you to effect introductions. Right, so we're approaching 62nd round now, and Mike has the Oscar. You're listening incredibly carefully, and we'll award the Oscar at the end of the thing. There we go. Vincent, we'll be making the appropriate bell-like noises if you go over your 60 seconds. You all know how he does it and the way he does it, so you can take that further, but there you go. That's the sound of the Good. Let's move on then with it. Now, Mike will be first with his 60 seconds to give him time to consider the rest of us. And he'll be followed by John Freeman.
I couldn't think of anything exciting or positive to say this morning, so I've had some help prepared for my 60 seconds. Mike very kindly donated the first and the last bit. The first bit is good morning, and the last bit is thanks. Then came up with the bit in the middle, which is if you all work harder, you won't in the morning, and you'll be much happier.
Uplifting is part of the word for that one. John Freeman is now followed by Neil.
Thanks, Aidan. Good morning, everyone. My name's John from One Stop Property Shop. I've got any visitors, so everyone knows what I do. Yes, in the process of fitting the kitchen. Kind of clients that I'm looking for. People that have tried the rest and want to have a chat with one of the best. I've had a couple of conversations with clients this week. One wants a garden structure built, which is in fact a 12 by 8 shed. You can buy online, they want to insulate it, use it as an office, it's not fit for purpose. So people that have got a little bit more idea about what they want, and people that are willing to plan ahead. It's busy time at the minute. Cranked right up until the start of December. Can deal with a little quick in and out, as Matt knows, and one or two others. We'll get to you Brian. And I've been dying for things to ring the bell. We to ring the bell for my 60 seconds, but that's John from the One Stop Property Shop. The group's handyman, paper decorator.
Thank you very much. Whatever your name is, John. Right, sorry about that. Toby, you follow Neil.
Okay, very quick. Hi, Neil from the Event Catering. Been super busy the last couple of weeks on the TV shoot with Brentwood. While at the same time, banging out averaging 2 or 3 small buffets a day as well for corporate clients. We're looking for any referrals for corporate clients, offices, updates, inside, doesn't matter. That's it. Thank you very much. See you next week. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Neil. Toby, you're followed by Brian.
Right, I didn't have time to prepare an slot and a 60 seconds, so I'm going to read something out. Organisations and Organisations and individuals invest considerable time and money improving knowledge and developing skills. However, the ability to translate skills and knowledge into progress, productivity, success and happiness is often hindered by one frequently overlooked factor: motivation. Even with highly skilled and knowledgeable individuals and teams, a lack of motivation can mean performance is never optimised and potential is never achieved. Understanding what motivates us and how our motivation can be increased and maximised is therefore critical in helping individuals and organisations succeed. And the reason that I'm reading that out is because it wasn't written by me. It's as a testimonial to Mr. Paul DeLuc, who took the very verbose crap that I tend to write, cut through and distilled the essence of it. So that is his work. So that's as a thank you to Paul and a testimonial to the excellent work that he does. So my name's Toby, his name's Paul. He's very good at writing stuff.
Thank you very much, Brian, you're next, and you're followed by James.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Brian Painter, the therapist. Hello. And I saw a 64-year-old man today. He has a relationship. Yes, not today. Of course not. So yesterday. His 6-year relationship broke down. He said he got totally disconnected from the world. But an interesting one, a lady I saw last Friday, she said, I dread going into work because I'm terrified of the boss. She was due to see me tomorrow, but she phoned yesterday and said, I'm going to cancel because she said, I don't know what you did, but the boss doesn't bother me at all. And I thought, I have no idea what I did either. It must have been a placebo effect. So that's Brian Painter, therapist, Pilgrim. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. James, you're followed by Mike Skinner.
Hello everybody, Auntie Jane here from the English Cream Tea Company. So I've got your budget and your pocketbook in mind, and we're introducing 4 new gifts, all under £30, ready for Christmas. So we're realising that not everybody's going to be wanting the £200 hampers, the big boys, to go out, and you just might need something that's charming and hits the spot, can go with your gift message, and we can do that for you. On a side note, I had a meeting with a hospital consultant yesterday, as one does, and he was telling me that it costs £120,000 for the NHS to hire and permanently have a new consultant in his field. But they don't, and instead they spend 4 to 6 million on locums. I thank you. Very sobering.
My wife is a consultant, but they're all
Ridiculous.
Anyway, Jane, thank you. Mike, you're next, followed by Ben.
Morning. So, this is a little trick for helping me out and to help me find new businesses to work with. And I thought of this actually when I was driving out here last week and looked at it, and there's the Breckenridge Brewing Company inside there. And as I was driving, I looked at it and I thought, I wonder how they're set up now, I wonder how they actually brew it and that sort of thing. And that is a great potential video for their website. Because the fact that I asked that question means other people probably ask similar things, just want to know a bit more about the business. And posted an informative video on it to bring traffic to their website and therefore put more beers in people's homes when they find out about it. This applies to many different businesses in everyday life. Whether you're at florists and wonder how they make their displays or how a fashion store chooses the products for their next season. And do you get the same sort of questions coming up about your business as well? People are regularly asking the same sort of questions that you're firing off. So this week, I just want you to ask genuine questions about businesses that you're using, and then maybe suggest to them if they could be worth answering. You can go on the video on the website. Michael, that was me.
Thank you. Ben, you're followed by Vince.
Good morning, guys. Ben Golding from Utilities Warehouse. Now, everything that's going on in the energy market at the moment, I'm going to keep things really, really simple. Because Utilities Warehouse helps people save on their essential home services: gas, electricity, home phone, broadband, mobile phone, and water cover. Help them reduce their bills even more by shopping with our unique cashback card. We have the cheapest energy in the UK, and when homeowners pay 2 services or more, they will get an extra £100 off their bill. So, this week I'm looking for people who would like to save money on their essential home services, have the UK's cheapest energy, and take 2 services and have £100 knocked off their bill by our bill busting boost. That's Ben Golding, Utility Warehouse.
Thank you, Ben. Right, Vincent, you're next, followed by the third of the array of mics.
Morning, Vincent from Speedprint. I like to think at Speedprint that we help people. We help people get the most from their business cards, the most impact from that little marketing tool. We help people with their flyers and brochures so that they give the best impact they can. But we also help people with their picture framing. I had a young lady come in to see me a couple of weeks ago. She had just lost her mother a week before. She was due to fly up to Libya to take part in a 50k ultra marathon in the 45-degree heat of the Sahara Desert. So it was a very emotional run for her, so she wanted to dedicate her run to her mother. So I didn't have much time to do a proper poster. But we planned the frame at the shop with a medal and other bits and paraphernalia that she wanted in there, and that's the finished product. She's very happy, I can tell you. Very happy, very emotional, and I got a hug, which I don't get from most of my customers. So yeah, the Speedprint, picture framing. We'll frame anything that's not breathing.
Getting on the way up. Thank you, Vince. Mike, you're next, followed by Terry.
Morning everyone, Mike Hickson from LSA Systems, based in Billericay, the group's IT service provider. LSA Systems specialises in the provision of IT support to small and medium-sized businesses in London, the home counties and Lancaster as of last week, and you had to be at last week's meeting to understand the relevance of it. It occurred to me recently that I make this statement every week, but I've never really told you what support comprises of. So, if you turn on your PC and it doesn't power on, Windows doesn't start, the email doesn't work, or the internet doesn't connect, you call us. If you turn on your PC and you can't print, the Wi-Fi's not working, or your broadband is down, you call us. In fact, if it's IT related and it doesn't work, you call us. And even then, many of our customers follow the golden rule. If in doubt about the reason their IT is not working, they call us. So if you know anyone who simply wants an IT helpline to help them get through the day, that's Mike from LSA Systems.
I just turn it off and turn it on again.
Thank you, Mike. Terry, you're followed by Paul.
Very much. Good morning again, everybody. Terry May from CM Law. Over the past few weeks, I've been working with 4 over a series of blogs, and we did one on the Landlord Reform Act, which is coming in next April, or was coming in next April. Then we had a new government, and it was coming. Then it wasn't, and it was. So we did a blog on that. Well, the upshot of it now is I think it is, and it means that Section 21 is probably going to be abolished. I'm prefacing this with probably and likely. And I've therefore had a lot of landlords who want to get their properties back before they have to go through the new regime. So if you're going on in that situation, they are concerned. I can probably allay their fears. I can tell them what the new regime will be, or we think it will be. And if they want to get their property back now, I can deal with notice and proceedings. So anyone you know in that situation, whether it's a single landlord or someone who's got a portfolio of properties who either want advice or they want action, give them my details. Terry May from CM Law. Thanks for the blog.
Thank you. Well, let's hear from you, Paul, followed by Leanne.
Thank you very much. Paul DeLuca, Limited Communications. People sometimes say to me, oh, yeah, I writing apps are available. I said, good on you. Because whilst they're good at some things, picking up missing punctuation or misspellings, they don't really understand the subtleties of the English language, especially when it comes to communicating in business. Business is a great word to use as an example. You can be writing, and I've tried to do that just to see what the competition is like. You can be writing about a business, and its suggestion will be change business to company. Well, that's fine, but if it's not a company, then that's incorrect. So, whilst everybody's free to dabble with assistance apps to help you write, with Portable, you get more than artificial intelligence, you get real intelligence. Thank
you. Followed by John.
Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Leanne, I'm the interior designer. I just want to show you I've got a problem today. You can imagine why people get confused when we've got over 1,000 colours here in just one brand. So they get confused with colour, what can they use, what time, if the room's facing west or east. It's very confusing for some people, so I can help them do that. I've had a client contact me this week. She's had a really big extension done, kitchen, lounge and seating area, but she hasn't got a clue what to do with it. The kitchen's in now, she doesn't know where to put colour, where to put the furniture. She said, I thought I needed this big space and now I don't. So these are just some of the things that I can help people with. So if you know anybody that's had a big extension and now doesn't know what to do with the space or doesn't know how to put colour into their home, put them in touch with me. I put the Zaza food back in their room. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. I'm John Hammond from JMH Technology. We supply all your electronic security needs. I want to talk about access control and cloud access control. We're looking for new clients who've got a problem with their cloud access system or need one. And there's various ones on the market. There's a little fob one that we've got in our office, nice little passive system. Very good, but it's not very secure. If you need high security, you need to go something else. The problem with these is they've only got a 6-digit number. And there's a million systems out there. And it doesn't take much maths to work out the numbers that have been duplicated. More secure ones, you get one like this. It's a 32-bit password to read the card, and that's made in hex, so it's 0 to F each digit. Then it's 32 bits to actually read the sector of the card. And it's a different password again. And it's a 32-bit number actually inside there. So it's a very secure system. So if you know anyone who needs an access control system to protect their building, give us a shout. We design it to meet their needs. That's John Hammond from JMH Technology. My technology to security.
Thank you, John. Scott, you're followed by Hal.
Good morning, I'm Scott. Or should I say the handsome face, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Not my handsome face, obviously. But the conversion machine that is live chats and the opportunity to get your pretty handsome gorgeous faces up on your websites for your clients. It's a conversion machine. Live chats, if you are one of those businesses for whom you're sat at a desk and you're able to respond to those conversion and those inquiries of people that have found their way to your site but want to engage, find out more and connect and do something, live chat is the answer. It's $15 a month. Really, really cheap. Completely free to try it for a month if you want to give that a go. Just turn it on and see what it does for you. I guarantee you'll be surprised. If people hit your site, a little pop-up shows and encourages them to talk to you, find out more. It's brilliant. If you're interested, or you know anybody who's interested, give us a shout. Happy to turn it on and try it out for free for a month.
Do you have to have your website open all the time, or does it ping you if someone wants to contact you?
It pings you if someone wants to contact you.
Right. If you've got one of those faces that's ideally suited for radio, don't be put off. Hal, you are next, followed by Matt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Howard Bullock, Howard Bullock, Clear Financial Advisor, with independent financial advisors. Taxes are going up. Yay! Not just yet, they're going up in April. But we do have a new PM with his fairly new Chancellor. I think they're going to be quite aggressive in tackling inflation, which means they might do something before April, who knows. But the reason I mention this is I'm looking for companies who've got too much cash in their bank accounts. A nice problem to have, but it is a problem. So at some point, those owners will want to get that cash out of the companies. Now, there are nice tax efficient ways you can do that. You can put money into a pension and get full tax relief. The company puts the money in and it's a full business expense, so it lowers your corporation tax bill. But there are limits to how much can go into a pension. If you've got a lot of cash in there, you need to think about other ways of doing it. And there are other ways of doing it where you get some tax relief on the money you take out. But it'll be much more tax efficient to do it now than wait until after April next year. So if you come across or know anyone who's in that position, especially if they're coming up to retirement, then please go to speak to someone like me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Howard. Matt, you're next and you're
Good morning, everyone. Matt Barry from Blue Seraph. We have been working this week on a lovely project designing a calendar for a client of ours. Now, you can get lots of sort of calendars off the shelf, but we branded it, but we've also designed it with that company's brand, the colours, the fonts, everything in mind, but also the messaging. So each month it's a different messaging, and we've also made it interactive by use of QR codes and other various whizzy things, so that we can make it engaging, we can make it interactive, so we can get the messages across to the users. So now is the time you want to think about, if you're thinking about a calendar for next year, it's a really nice sort of thing that can be sent out, and we might even know a printer that might be able to help produce it. So if you're thinking about a calendar, please do get in touch with me, Matt Barry from Blue Seraph.
Thank you, Matt. Tina is next. She's followed by me, who will be then followed by Paul Booth. Tina.
Morning everybody, my name's Tina, company called Liberty Executive Services. We had a busy week this week, really good. Was on our way to Battle to hand summons in on Monday, but I've got to go back tomorrow with my car, so that's rained out. And then I went into London on Tuesday and handed another summons, which was brilliant, but we're still waiting for a response. But other than doing summons, I can help you with your office work, typing, arranging meetings. That's it. So you know, Liberty Executive Services, not a 9 to 5, and start to finish.
Thank you, Tina.
Yeah, got a chance.
Right. Thanks, Marcus. Here in Law, I've done lots of props. The lodger at the corner. And after last week's project, I thought I was finished with props. Well, I'm not. This week's prop, you just heard from Tina, my human prop. She is behind all of the fundamental typing that is done from the office to set up the templates. So when you hear from me with a contract of employment, with a commercial agreement, with some sort of leasehold document, chances are Tina's behind it. She is I think she is necessary for me to be able to do my job, and she helps me do it very efficiently. She's probably the best copy typist I've ever come across. I've come across quite a lot. So my prop, Tina, helping me do all the stuff I do, Amy Squire from TM Law. And Paul Booth is the last book by no means least.
Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Chartered Several Accountants, based in Brentwood. I've got a client who has his own limited company. He's a colonoscopist. He works for a lot of the NHS hospitals, charities, and he earns a very good amount of money, about 250k a year, £1,700 a day, so pretty good. But as similar to what Howard says, his company pays large amounts of pension contributions. So in the last year he paid about 180 grand's worth of pension contributions, with not a lot of other costs, and he paid about 4 grand in corporation tax. So we've got lots of clients like that looking for more sort of one-man band companies who maybe just perform work for a number of different companies. That's Paul Booth from Booth & Co. Minimise tax, maximise wealth.
Thanks, Paul. Because it was only 60 seconds, he obviously wasn't able to describe exactly what it is. Right, and we probably don't want to know. Right, let's take the 60-second round. Thank you all for your contributions. I'll hand you over to Mike for the award of the Oscars.
It's very difficult awarding an Oscar because people stand up and they say something, it doesn't matter how interesting or how useful it is what they say. If it's a boring subject that doesn't interest them. Anyway, started off and everybody got two. Then Mike Skinner said something interesting. So I thought he's near, I can give it to him, I don't have to walk over. And then Ben stood up and he said something interesting and you as well. So I thought, how do I choose between the two? So I thought, I won't. And then Terry said something very useful as well, he was quite good. Paul DeLue didn't say anything interesting, but other people were saying nice things about him, which I thought was worth a mention. And John H, he got a 2+, because it was sort of boring and interesting. But the one that gets the Oscar has got the most boring subject, and I normally don't even bother listening to him, but this morning he said something that caught my ear. If something doesn't work, phone him, and that's nice and simple. Because there's something back to the
Thank you very much. I know why you do this. You're called Mike. And he's called Mike, and you even thought he was Right, excellent. Thank you all for your contribution. We now move on, and the meeting section. What's the next thing that's going to come up?
Yep.
Scott.
I need one more green referral slip filled in and passed up to the front, please, because then it works out that we get one each on average today. There's 19 on the book. Today, good, yeah. Good man. Thank you very much. So 20 referrals passed, 13k on business pass recording at least since last week. So well done on both of those fronts, folks. That's really good. Just one on the beat, and you have to listen to me. Really great Ed slots, and moving on. The idea of calendars, Matt. The EBF picture calendar for 2023, I'm going to propose that the three creatives are kind of the January pose. We've got the naughty corner, which can be February. I would open the blog calendar.
I'm not doing it unless it's naked.
Obviously. Yes. But your suggestions for the months, the year's worth of calendar poses, please.
Looks can get his belt and out. Sorry.
That's that out of the way, and that leads us into the next major part of the meeting, which of course is the 10-minute presentation. So I'll hand you over to Ben.
Thank you very much. Well, before I introduce today's speakers, updates on the upcoming speakers for the next few weeks. There has been a bit of a swap around. I will email this out later on today as well. So next week, 3rd of November, we have John Freeman doing his 10 minutes. He's doing a runner now, by the way.
We might be changing that, yeah. I've got a delivery that I need to, so I'm going to be leaving, so sorry.
Can you not do next week?
No.
Terry, are you okay to swap you up and then John do the following week after?
Sorry.
It's a delivery in
Okay. No, thanks. So okay, next week on the 5th of November we now have Terry. And then on the 10th of November, John, that's when you'll be doing your 10 minutes. 17th, also on the 10th, it will be Vince doing the education slot. There we go, great. And Stuart on the 17th doing the education slot, and then back to me. And finally, Emma will be doing 10 minutes at the end of November. Moving on to today's speaker, obviously we can't do your 10 minutes. Please let me know as soon as possible, because we'll do our best to swap things around. And if you can't do it, let me know, because we don't know when we'll be able to get you back in. Please go to the EBF website, download the file sheet, get to me a day or two beforehand. Like today's speaker did, because today we have Mr. Brian Painter, clinical hypnotherapist of Pilgrim Hypnotherapy, situated in the sleepy village of Kelvedon Hatch in Brentwood. His position in the practice is comfortable. Purpose of the business: to help unfortunate people to get their lives together. Actually, it's so he can make enough money to have no expenses spared holidays. He's had 3 this year, and now he's got nothing booked in till next year, so he's feeling very deprived. Something that needs fixing. Cream crackers that stay in one piece once bitten. He was once having lunch and he bit into a cream cracker which immediately fragmented into dozens of pieces, flew off in all directions, with left behind with just a crumb. But with cheese, beetroot and chutney all down his nice new clean shirt. There's no warning on this packet and everyone had to take cover, so he's now looking for a very good solicitor to help sue them. So his favourite music is traditional jazz. Hands up in the room, who's ever heard of either Chris Farber or Kenny Ball from Hornchurch? Couple. An embarrassing moment. Going to the local newsagents on a Saturday morning, demanding to know why the Sunday papers haven't arrived. He was quite old at the time. And finally,
30 years ago.
in the description on Valentine's Day, first of all, basically just wants to return to sender. However, he doesn't want to be put into the ground slowly. Feeling perfectly healthy, but his poor heart has just given out. No, he wants to slide in sideways at high speed, saying, bloody hell, what a journey. With that in mind, Mr. Brian Painter.
Hi, John. Hi, everyone. Sorry, Brian. Mustache.
Right, you can come round and I'll finish you later on the day. Do you think I'm staying for the next half hour? Yeah. Oh, good morning once again. Morning. Not simply hypnosis of trance. When a person is in a trance, it's a state of heightened awareness and their psychic defences are softened. I'm now in my 30th year as a therapist. Previously, I was with British Gas for 27 years as a public relations officer. So if you ever read or ever heard a spokesman for British Gas said, well, frequently, that was me. Now, my training as a hypnotherapist took 2 years, initial training 2 years, at a cost of £20,000. That was just the beginning. I have attended many courses since with some wonderful names, such as Emotional Freedom Technique. Now that is the psychological equivalent, I should say, of acupuncture. So instead of actually sticking pins in people, we tap on the meridian places and they make certain statements appertaining to what they actually come for. And another one is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Now, at the end of the meeting, I'll ask you got that second one, I'll see if you remember. And that's what to do with eye movement. Because when we ask questions, we will involuntarily move our eyes. If you've ever been in school and been asked a question, it goes, and the teacher says you won't find the answer on the CD. That's exactly where you will find it. Because the eyes have been stimulated to bring back past information. Eyes will move in different ways. If you're asked, for instance, what do you think that band's going to sound like next week? The eyes will move involuntarily to one side to create that sound. Or what was the band like last night? The eyes will move the other way to bring back that sound. So that can tell us that is actually not the one I just mentioned. It is neurolinguistic programming and emotional freedom technique. Now, when a client arrives, they initially fill in what's called a consultation form, which is confidential, last name and address, and down the side are a number of boxes, such as insecurity, worry, lack of self-esteem, stress in the future. There's also one that says suicidal. Now, you might think that's the person who needs the most help. If anybody ticks that, suicidal, I tell them I cannot help. The reason being, if they saw me, they went home and taught themselves, what have I done? What have I done that actually put them over the years? So what I do say, can't help it, but you can if you wish. phone the Samaritans from my phone. I asked them, the client, what they want to achieve, and invariably they tell me what they don't want. For instance, I don't want to feel anxious when I take my driving test. So the perfect word is anxious. They're concentrating on the word anxious, and the more they do, the more anxious they become. So I said, right, you've told me what you don't want, what do you want? Well, I'd like to feel calm when I take the test. So now the important dominant word is calm. And I asked them to say those two sentences. I don't want to feel anxious, I want to feel calm, and to actually notice the difference of the feeling gives them. Words are very, very powerful, either in a positive or a negative way. For instance, if you say to a child, don't spill that milk, their mind has to focus on the spilling before they can focus on the don't spill. Far better to say, carry that milk carefully. Now they're concentrating on carefully, they're not upset. Now I also explained the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind. Conscious mind being the everyday mind, analytical, critical, thinking, discriminating, decision-making mind. The mind that says, I'm expecting that phone call, I've got to pick up a loaf of bread, I've got to put petrol in the car. Virtually no emotion. Whereas it occupies a mere 10% of the brain. The other 90% is the subconscious, which is incredibly powerful. It's also known as our feeling mind. It's whether we feel happy, sad, whatever. All those feelings come from the subconscious. It's 90% of our brain, as I mentioned, the feeling brain, and it is incredibly powerful, as I mentioned. Every second of our lives, it is making in excess of 10,000 adjustments in our body. Absolutely amazing. Now, virtually all our problems of today stem from childhood, and this becomes so apparent with the clients that I see. And two reasonable recent ones was, first of all, there was a lady, and she was a hoarder, and she didn't know why she hoarded. Well, up to the age of 13, her parents had moved 5 times. So she'd go to a new school, make friends, join in activities, she'd personalise her bedroom, and parents would move. So new school, new friends, new activities, personalise her bedroom. And the feeling in the subconscious mind was that you don't have anything. So when she had her own place, her own home, she hoarded. The feeling was, well, they can't take this away from me. And there was a man who, very successful businessman, his business was insulation, commercial insulation, pipes, so on and so forth. Very successful, said he felt absolutely worthless, despite his business success. What was caused that was when he was very young, his parents split, and he was fostered many, many times. And the feeling in the subconscious, not the conscious, the feeling in the subconscious was, I must be worthless because even my parents did. Now, neither the lady or the man were aware that what actually caused the problems. That came out through hypnosis, and we managed to get rid of that. That's the average. Where are we at? Here we are. Oh yes, during in the 12th stage of hypnosis, the conscious, intelligent mind plays no part in the process whatsoever. If at the end of the session, as frequent happens, a client says, I remember virtually nothing of what you said, then it's absolutely fine. If their conscious mind could solve the problem, they wouldn't come to me. And within the subconscious, once it opens up, that part of the brain, the mind, hears everything. The different ways of communicating with the subconscious. One is known as the IMR, ideomotor response. That is, I ask the subconscious to take control of the right index finger as a yes, left it for a no. So I asked questions, and the questions had to be either yes or no answers, and either the right finger will lift or the left finger. And frequently, the client is totally unaware that the fingers actually move. So, where are we up to? Oh, we're almost finished. And the clients I enjoy working with the most are those who suffer from random panic attacks. They can be sitting at home, reading, watching television, suddenly the heart starts racing, difficulty breathing. They can be socialising, they can even be in bed and they get a random attack. People who have random attacks, they were caused by something before the age of 6, which was deemed to be traumatic at the time. But when it is brought back into the future, into the present, then they can examine that situation with their adult mind, and all the trauma, all the emotion goes through. So that was that, and now finally, I'm going to finish with a brief case study, and Terry was involved in this. A few years ago, he had a client who's 19 years old, and she just passed her driving test. And she was on the motorway, and 2 cars were racing. One went on the outside, one on the inside, and one on the inside scraped her car. You can imagine she was petrified, very, very nervous. She didn't really notice the car. All she was aware was that bump. So Terry asked me if hypnosis could help. Well, she had 2 sessions, and she went to the second session. Nothing had actually come. Her conscious mind was trying too hard to remember. Once she stopped thinking about it, then the information came back. She remembered the colour of the car, the registration, as Terry, I think, that went to the police. They went round. There was the evidence, the guy's car with this lady's painted along the side. And I think you and the police took the appropriate retribution. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any time for questions.
Brian, is there a lot of negativity surrounding hypnotherapy? Do people suspect it's all mumbo jumbo type?
Yeah. Well, insofar as I do get clients say, I've come to you as a last resort, but I don't think you can do anything. There is some of that, but I think, like the lady I saw that had the issue with the boss, I think most of them too come expecting to get the result they're after. I think there's something to see there. Tell us.
Brian, do you get people who confuse you with the theatre people on the television who do hypnosis in there? Do you get confused with that or not very often?
Yes, sometimes. They will say, you're not going to make me cluck like a chicken, are you? And I'll say, well, only if you want to.
Do you use the clock?
Well, no, I don't. That is a way of inducing the trance.
Can anybody be hypnotised, or do you have to sort of want to be hypnotised?
Yeah, you probably want to, yes.
Right.
Everybody to a lesser or greater extent can be hypnotised, yeah? To that lesser, but they've got to buy into it, yes. I tell them it's a partnership. They don't come and say a few magic words and everything's fine. They've got to buy into this, yeah.
You mentioned that a lot of the things to do with come from childhood traumas and things like that. Is there an age bracket, or are there age brackets that it works better or worse for? Do you have had better results from, say, pensioners than you do from late teenagers or something like that? Is there a difference in brain development?
Yeah, around about 16 to 20 is, I find to be a prime time. Although, I'm actually working with an 11-year-old boy today, the one who doesn't want to go to school. Their imagination is great. And if you say to a young kid, if you're 5, 6, 7 year old, you're a tree, put their arms out, that's the leaves and such like. They are a tree. They say if you're a wild animal, they're raw. If I said to
You're a pig.
Vincent, you're a tree. Stand up, you're a tree. They say, See, the imagination does alter as we get older. The greater the imagination, the more effective we live in this.
Brian, have you seen many children that have suffered through COVID in the last couple of years?
Suffered from?
Suffered through the COVID lockdown.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned last week, this 7-year-old boy regarding school, he was fine until the lockdown. Yes, I have seen a few that have been affected.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'm just going to.
Right. The referrals and testimonials. Let's all start with the hall and work our way around.
Yeah, well done, Ryan. As always, thank you. Excellent, Toby. Thanks again for that. Good meeting.
Well done, Brian. Your world is always fascinating. Other people see you is great. I've got two here. One for Aidan for a new will, and Scott for a new website.
Really nice. I think you've got right. I want to be a tree.
Thank you.
I'm a mighty oak.
So you are, yes, I always thought you were pretty thick.
I've got a referral for Toby for some training, in-house training, which you all know about, which could be a good one. And thank you to Alan Muller, his partner Kaz, asked me to do roller banner, so I said, I do apologise, but I have to leave.
Okay. Something I said?
I'm going to go walk through the forest, be with my people. No, I've got a very busy stuff. Sorry. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, great meeting. Welcome back, Toby. You've been missed. Really thought-provoking 10 minutes, Brian. Thank you for that. I've got one referral for Aidan for 4 wills and an LPA.
4 wheels of the funeral.
4 wheels of the
Great 10 minutes. Brian, it is insightful, and I've referred a few people your way, and I've had many positive feedback. I have a referral for Paul. It's for some marketing strategy we briefly spoke about last week. That was my rush last minute one. Mike for renewal of the audience, a little bit early, but I've got it in just to please Scott. John's left. John, very kindly, my mother-in-law had a massive leak, and that was it last. Last Thursday after we left here, like biblical rain. Anyway, so the electrician's on there. Anyway, he's very kindly went round and sorted things out. It's been brilliant. A referral for Scott. Open the website. Let's go. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for the money for Sarah Steele. She's not here. And 2 thank you for the money for Scott. There's a Nova and something else. Oh, that's right.
Yes, well done, Brian. I did that. So that was amazing. That job. And it's kind of last resort because this girl had a crash. It was really serious crash, but technically the car hit the central barrier, overturned. Quite nasty injuries. She couldn't remember anything about it, and there's a hit and run from the driver. So it was the last resort with Brian. I thought it was worth a try. Anything's worth a try. It was incredible. Absolutely amazing. She came back, gave us all the details, colour of the car, registration number. It's just amazing. Went to the police and boom.
Well, she stopped consciously thinking about it.
So I was probably making her think about it, wasn't I? I was trying to get her to think about it, and you were doing the opposite. Don't old goat, if you stop doing that. You're telling me now, is it? Paul Bruce, valuation, Scott Bruce, I'll send you the details over. Thank you very much. And thanks for seeing us a bit. She's been great, running here and everything. Thank you.
last bit tomorrow. Very good. I like listening to you and what you do. I think it's amazing when you get people exactly say what their issues are. And it's not. Thank you for the money for Terry and Geoffrey and thank you for the money for Aidan.
Brilliant. 10 minutes for absolutely fascinating. The inner workings of the human brain and how you tap into them. And great head start, totally. Absolutely. Total sense. And really rubbish communication in Oscar. Miserable old kid.
That's a compliment to him.
It certainly is. And one-to-one with Toby the other week, also grabbing 5 minutes after the soaps, and having a one-to-one with Jane on Monday next week. Looking forward to that immensely. Thank you to the business, to Toby, it's work I'm still doing for Kelly. Also, thank you for the money to Toby's work, I'm also still doing for Agat.
Okay.
That's all still ticking along nicely. Thank you for the money to Sarah Still, and thank you for the money to Terry. And I got a referral for Terry. I mean, someone duffed up because there is some dosh. And then I've also got a referral for Ted. Ted Rogers. He's not 3, he's not 2, he's not. That's all from me. I'm showing you many cards in for past visitors, but a collection of referrals today. Is Paul. It is the R&D claim thingy that you were talking about. Yeah, thank you. Second referral is to Matt. Some assistants doing a pretty bit on the recyclable parlour that we've talked about. Yep. This is Paul. That's Paul. It's a tax return assistant. You are a cruel bastard.
We're getting these steps in play, right?
Come on. And the last one is.
Say this is poor, you can probably get to the song.
Right. Jane?
Yes.
For the military tea. But before you go, Tina, the coffee time. See? I'm always thinking about it. Within 10 minutes, right, it always is with you. You've got so much vast array of experience as well from different cases and your background. Lovely to hear everything. And we need to put in that thing with you that we talked about now. We're back now, you're back tomorrow. So we'll shall get that booked in. So, Elwood, thanks to Terry for swapping around with John. Thank you for that. And yeah, brilliant. That's what Toby. Love that. Yeah, it's really, really good. So thank you. One with Mike Skinner last week. I've got a referral there to Chris, but he's bugged off, so I'll have to give him a shout later. And thank you for money for ex-member Simon, who's moved into his new place with all the sorted out for us. Great meeting, see you next week.
On a serious note, I thought that was your best 10 minutes ever.
Really?
I've only known you for the last 100 years or so. I thought that was very, very interesting. Now take the way, so I'm going to talk to Matt. It's in the diary for January, talk about that. And I'd also like to thank Paul DeLue for not only giving me 1.5 referrals so far this week. Can you onboarding some extra points for you? So just being a really nice bloke and you're not hitting me so hard when I was rude to you.
I've got to take it off of you.
Yeah, well, yeah, you put it anyway.
Brilliant, right, really enjoyed it. Of course, before I met you, I didn't know anything about therapy and probably thought it was a load of rubbish, but right, on to Ben. No,
He still thinks it's a
nothing's changed. Yeah, no, it's completely educated me what it's about now, the last year or so. It's been really fascinating. Thank you, so, yeah, on to one with Ben.
Thank you.
And thank you for the money to Scott. Real nice and local, that was awesome. And I'll put it off, but I need to book in some time to do that sort of rebranding, but I can't do anything to it, so.
For referral to John, for referral to James is on it. And for Braden, and thank you for the money to Terry. Thank you.
Great techniques, right. I am still trying to get the wife's going to see about her fear of flying, but it's a hard job trying to encourage her to actually get hit down. And I will see you all later. Again. She's got fear of driving as well, so.
Maybe start with that one
Great headstock, Toby, and brilliant community farm. Really enjoyed that. I think the market went amazing. I had a one-to-one with Jane this week, and I've got a one-to-one with Terry after the meeting. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, great comment. It's something very close to my heart. Totally agree with you about words and linguistics, the difference they can make, and use NLP techniques, involuntary eye movement for accessing in without the negotiation. Really useful technique to have. Not brilliant today. I'll get there. What have we got? I had a one-to-one with Stuart before I went away and before he went away. He's not here, so he's still away. Thank you for the money to Mike H over there. And he's gone now, but thank you for the duck to Bits. I knew there was another something. Yeah, great meeting.
Right, moving on.
Moving on. I'm representing John, who has passed me a referral for some hamper work for next week, and one for Matt. Thank you for the business for £80. That's from John. Thank you.
From John?
From John to Matt. And then from Jane. Thank you, Toby, for setting us off with some great food for thought. I immediately started thinking London, so that's the good pointer for us there. And I really enjoyed that, Brian. And it increased my understanding of what you offer and my appreciation of what you offer.
Thank you.
Leanne, one-to-one, fabulous. They had to separate us in the end. 2 hours later. Aidan, thank you for the cream tea. And I didn't put the green in for that. Thank you. And then lastly, we called you in the Synergy meeting last week when a whole bunch of you stayed and it was really good. Thank you, everybody. Is it your turn, Brian?
What she's going to do.
Is it your turn, Brian?
Right.
Do you have anything?
Brian.
Yeah, thank you very much for your kind remark. And I will see you all next week.
Yes.
Now, Brian, before you sit down, one thing you need to do.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Price. What's the price?
Yes.
Sorry about that, Brian.
No, all right. Need the exercise?
That's a weird one. From this 22 cents. More money. Good week. Another week. For today.
Right.
That's where you get the therapist up.
For life. There is no prize.
No charge. That's why you're looking at me. Red or white?
Red.
Be a good one.
Right, it's lucky you're not a dog or a cat, is all I can say.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, indeed, Brian, thank you, Brian, very much for your 60 seconds, your 10 minutes, and for doing your running. And also for drawing that. And next week we'll thank you for bringing the door prize. Right. Let's move on. As they move on, we haven't got very far to move to. It's dry, it's going to be warm today, it's probably going to be sunny, so I'll have to send you on your way. But before I do, referral reality check, would you like to do one of those?
Go on. Yeah. Okay, quick ones. From Terry to Tina, day scanning, done already. From John Freeman to Jane, only a hamper. Thank you gift for a client. You told us that's already done.
Well, I'm bringing them next week. He's taking them from there.
Good.
He's already paid me.
From Nick to me. Post it, yeah. Don't even do it. From Terry to Paul, blog. They told us it's done.
Working very, very right. Anybody got any announcements they wish to make, Ben?
Just like the Christmas party, I know we haven't anybody that's, we are organising we get a taxi or minibus from Colchester. So anyone along the lines of the A12 that want to jump in. So far, it's myself, then James, then Deanne, isn't it, going to jump in, and Aidan, you're going to jump in as well, and obviously Mark as well. If there's anybody else on that corridor that wants to get involved, let me know. Anywhere between Brentwood and Colchester down the A12, we can stop and pick people up.
And we'll push them out on the way home as well. They might need the bus rather than minibus if there are any more.
Yeah.
Right.
I mentioned last week that the Parents Association charities are on Christmas are coming up. If anyone wants to advertise in the programme for the day, drop me a line. It's 25 quid for a half page, £50 for a full page. It's going to charity. Drop me a line. Thank you.
Just a reminder for the shooty game thingy in the woods. Playing airsoft. So far, the 13th of November, me and my little gang of my son and his friends and the Hammonds are going to be there. If anyone else would like to come and play, lovely to, you need to get on and register and rent more equipment. I'll talk to you about it afterwards if you're interested. It's all very.
Neil.
Yeah, advance apologies, I'm in next week, I can down the door sick for a clinic or corporate line.
I'm looking for a favour. I'm going away for 2 weeks in the middle of November, and John is coming round to replace my bathroom. He's going to put a skip on the drive, and he's going to park his van on the drive, and there's not enough room with my car on the drive, so I'm looking for somewhere where I can dump my car for 2 weeks in the middle of November, somewhere fairly local if possible.
Leave it with me, but I'm white roading.
Yeah, that might
Bit far away.
I'll bear it in mind, Jane.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the offer.
Right, so his best offer is white roading. Let's see if we can beat that for him. Anybody else? No. Right. I enjoyed the meeting. Nice to see another 20 turn out. Let's keep it up. And may I just finally emphasise really what Terry said at the beginning. We've always come in 2s or 3s when we lose members. The architect spot has got to be one that we should be able to fill. But let's see what we can do on the business side, please. Dredge up the things that we've worked out before with a view to September, which didn't work. Let's see if we can get people in. I spoke to your EPC lady yesterday, and was it you that brought the lady who...
Gabrielle.
Yeah. So I had a word with her, and she might be coming in November, which was useful, but if you could all have a bit of a dredge and see what you can find, do 1 or 2 members just to hit back at the losses that we've had. So let's be out there, let's think about it, and let's get some visitors in. Let's not call it a visitors month, otherwise that'll probably stop us doing anything. Right, it's nice to see you all. Send you on your way and see you next week.